Good morning. Big Buckeye shit going on today here on Buckeye BS. How you doing, fellas?
Man, doing good, man. You know, the video got me hyped, man. The music got me hyped. I'm ready. Almost ready for line season now, man. You know, ready to get my lines off.
Man, I'm ahead of you already. I started the lies in the chat. The poll to start the morning was, is it Kyle McHeisman season? The lies are here. We've been holding that video back for the Buckeyes to do something worth playing it for a minute, and man, did they give it to us yesterday. The Buckeyes come out with a 63-10 win over Western Kentucky, and man, did it feel like the Buckeyes of old. Q, how you doing? I feel like I took way too long to get to you, but man, I couldn't stop the excitement, man. And a big shout out to our guy Cameron Johnson for being the first person in the chat this morning. How you doing, Q?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Happy to finally got to see the Ohio State I know, dear to my heart yesterday. They boys finally pulled up. So I'm excited, man. It's officially Notre Dame week. I got to get Robbie to stop calling me, so we need to blow these fools out so I get some peace. Because I give 6 calls every Saturday. So the reckoning time has come. It's time to get going. It's time to lie. It's Notre Dame week.
Absolutely. It is Notre Dame week. Before we get into that game, we got to talk about this pounding the Buckeyes laid yesterday because I mean, not even in my predictions. I thought that I was getting a little optimistic when I said 56-17, man. And we came out here and got a 60 burger on them and then only held them to 10 points after this offense that we had been hearing about all year. Man, Western Kentucky is going to test your pass defense. Man, this quarterback, he won a D3 national championship and he did this and he's the best. And look at these stats compared to Ohio State. If Ohio State's one, they're two. If they're one, Ohio State's two. Like, they're hyping this team up like we're about to see one of the greatest show on turf. 10 points. 10 points. Fucking Denzel Burke was out there with the seatbelt. Jermaine Matthews getting pick sixes. What are your immediate takeaways from that game? Because I am just riding the high of this win because I've been preaching this week after week. We don't get too many of these like this. When you have the standard that you have at Ohio State and that you're microanalyzing this team on a national championship standard every week, it's hard to enjoy some of these games because every game you're watching, even when you're playing Indiana, even when you're playing Youngstown State, you're analyzing it through the lens of, well, if this was Georgia, if this is the team up north, are we going to win? So having a game like this where you can't where there's barely anything to nitpick and you just get to enjoy a Saturday ass whooping by the Buckeyes, you don't get many of those, and I truly enjoyed it.
Yeah, man.
I agree.
Now, 200% is also a good time because the way we opened the season against Indiana on the road against a conference opponent, it struggled a little bit and it got it going. Everybody else yesterday faced that all across the country. They dogged us for 2 weeks about that Indiana game. And, well, you look at there. Everybody struggling on the road against a conference opponent. Even Alabama going to USF? South Florida?
Hey, man,
struggling there.
In the Big Ten, man.
Yeah, man. Everybody was struggling. So it was a good time to blow somebody out and watch everybody come back down to reality about the first couple of weeks. Still needed to happen for Miami, but everybody else came back down to reality. So it's all good.
Yeah, man. About this game, this is what I told you all off season, all week long, right? This was the pop quiz. So y'all tell me in the chat, Did Ohio State pass a pop quiz in this game? Because other people and from other fan bases who don't pay attention to college football, as people like to call them casuals, right? They're going to tell you, oh, it was Western Kentucky and all of this stuff. Well, Western Kentucky had Bolendikov guy on there, candidate on there, right? Western Kentucky has a guy who's going to probably go in the NFL. Not saying he's going to be a franchise quarterback, but that quarterback's definitely going to get his shot, right? So they have all these weapons, and we only allow 10 points, man. Shout out to the defense. And the defense, my coach used to always say, oh, it's good getting turnovers. That's good. But if you want to be elite, you got to be in scoring defense. And we've seen that. So I'm happy.
2 scores by the defense. We'll definitely get into that. I said Steel Chambers played himself a game, but man, we got to talk about him on that play. What the fuck? Him and Denzel Bird, bro. Like, did we got to run a fumble drill at practice? Like, find the biggest mud puddle on a rainy day and throw the ball in and have 2 people fight for it? Man, that ball gets on the ground. Y'all better cure that shit. That might have been my only complaint from the game. Like, that. The way everyone looked on that first fumble that Denzel landed on, that squirted away, and they ended up actually that's the one that they scored on, right? The play that they ended up scoring after that fumble, and I feel like I was watching that play in slow motion because he forced that fumble and the ball squirts out, and like all I see is Buckeyes around, and everyone like just pauses for a second before everyone runs for the ball, and like in that moment, I was like, oh, they're gonna fuck this up. There's not even a Western Kentucky player in frame right now. It's just Buckeyes. This is too perfect. I've seen this movie before. I know how this is gonna play out. And like Denzel just dives on the ball. I'm like, yes, turnover, and the ball just squirts out from under him. I'm like, no, you can't be serious. But before we get into all of that with the defense, I want to talk about the quarterbacks. We talked all last week about what could possibly change now that a true leader is established. They're taking all the reps. They are able to take all the reps in practice. They're able to have full leadership of the team. Why don't are they going to improve? Are we going to see improvement now that they're not looking over their shoulder? And I feel like we saw that from both quarterbacks. I think Devin played well and Kyle played well. So I want to get your guys' thoughts about the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'll go, man. It's almost like somebody who, does this show and does a Buckeye Roast show in the morning talked about when a guy was truly named the starter, it would open a different level and we have confidence that he might go crazy. And that, I don't know who mentioned that. It's probably handsome.
It was probably wrong. That's the only guy I know on that show.
Probably tall,
we talked about that on Buckeye.
You know what I'm saying? Nice teeth, nice smile and all that. But that dude's a prophet because that's exactly what happened yesterday. Kyle came out with confidence. You saw him walking into the game with that James Bond suit on, feeling real smooth, feeling real dapper, and he just lit it up. I mean, he saw guys get open before they were open, putting the ball on the money. Kyle balled out yesterday, man. This is what you wanted to see. You want to see him take that next level. First couple of weeks, he was kind of getting comfortable. Now it's like, okay, now I know what to do. Now I'm confident I'm the guy and let's roll. So Kyle balled out yesterday completely.
Mike, what about you?
Man, the way I feel about it is Kyle did ball out. And I'm one game away, like I told y'all from the beginning. I'm one game away from getting ready to get my lines off. But shout out to Kyle. Even though he got a turnover, the way he was able to respond. And they were asking to make a book about this. And he was like, the dude just doesn't get rattled. He makes a mistake, and he just bounces back. And that's something that you wanted to see. Also, you could see Ryan Day just starting to trust him more. He missed a high throw on a easy, Julian Fleming wide open, right? And then he comes back, 4th down, makes a play, man. I love to see it. This is the type of stuff that you need. And you can tell that he continued to have, what did you say? The poise, the more confidence that Ryan Day continued to have in him. I mean, I think it can only, the sky's the ceiling.
The ceiling is the roof, as Michael Jordan would say. Mike might have just created his own one. The
I
sky is
just
know
the
what I just
ceiling.
It's a new saying around here.
Yeah, man. We're creating new sayings every day. I think Q dropped a new one on Bleacher Report last week, too.
Oh, God.
So Kyle McCord, he comes out. He's 19 of 23 for 318 yards and 3 touchdowns. Devin Brown goes 3 of 4 without an incompletion because his one non-completion was actually a completion to the other team. He had 1 interception and 1 touchdown. But overall, I mean, threw a dime to Carnell Tate. That's just seeing that play, that connection of Devin Brown to Carnell Tate. It's like that SpongeBob meme, future. Like, you get to see what's going to be the Buckeyes of the future and them really go out there and ball in a game like this. So really to see, glimpses of what is to come for future Buckeyes, Carnell Tate, Devin Brown, Jermaine Matthews. I just thought that was great to see them ball out like that. So overall, I mean, quarterback play, you like to see both of them shore up the turnovers. You don't want to be giving the ball away. That's something that Ryan Day talked about, the consistency and being able to protect the ball. And with these limited possessions and teams trying to take possessions away from us by running out the clock, I feel like those are going to be much more critical going forward, especially in bigger games. You want Cal to be able to tuck that ball and feel that pressure in the pocket when it starts collapsing like that, or be able to get that ball away instead of having a fumble there. Devin, you just want him to be a little bit more secure with the ball. So overall, great games by both of the quarterbacks, and I think both of them showed a leap forward, especially now that this quarterback battle is settled. It seems like both of them are playing a little bit more within themselves now that they are aware of their role and where they stand in the pecking order. So what was your guys' favorite part of the game? What did you guys like the most about this game?
Well, I got to shout out my guy, Tyleek Williams from the 703, my neighbor right down the street, man. Man, they say the best ballers come from Northern Virginia, and Tyleek Williams definitely removed himself by accident. Anyway, as I continue on, yes, I continue on my rant. Nah, man, Tyleek balled out. Him and Mike Hall in the interior is just so crazy. We heard about them since spring ball, and they balled out. And then the turnovers on defense, man, finally, I mean, ball skills went completely out the window when the ball hit the turf because the people didn't know what to do, diving all over the place. But just turnovers, that's what Jim Knowles promised us. He promised us turnovers, promised us a crazy aggressive defense, and we finally got to see that. The corners balled out, man. Just this defense overall. They've passed every test until now. I don't even think Notre Dame is really a team that's going to test us like crazy, but Sam Hartman will come out. He will throw dots. So this defense walking into that game with a lot of momentum is definitely my favorite part of yesterday. We know Ryan Day. We know the offense. They may struggle at times, but they're going to do what they do. This defense needed to come along. And I think now we finally hitting the point where this defense is matching the energy that the offense typically brings. And that provides a very scary team if they continue to play at this level. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah. You and Ryan basically kind of hit everything on the head with that. But I want to sit here and say just the communication from the team, the way that the O-line was communicating and relaying that back with the quarterback, because we saw that was off. And you saw the secondary communicating. I do think that there is a little bit more that they can work on in the secondary, but I mean, you just see this team finding their groove. You saw Ryan Day in the pregame. I was like, I had put in, I think one of our groups, I was like, is UGA Ryan Day back? I was, I was loving it. I'm like, man, let's go. So, I mean, if this team can find a groove, and, you hear about teams peaking too early, right? And this team, it was all calculated. Hey, we just had to do this. And then also hearing that Ryan Day had to figure out, hey, how do I coach these guys? How does my coaching, when I coach this guy, does it translate? Does it get them better week to week? Or do I need to find a different way to adapt? And I think this was a filling out process. And he felt that And his feeling was Kyle responded better and more. So this game was telling of everything from week 1 and 2. So if you needed answers, you got your answers of why.
My favorite thing about this game was that I feel like we corrected things that we said we were going to correct. I feel like we saw improvements in the pass game. I think we saw improvements in the run game. You saw Chip get loose. You seen Trey get loose. You saw us get 4 deep in the running back room. You saw freshman wide receivers catching touchdown passes. You saw freshman cornerbacks get involved in the end of the game. We were able to play our depth. We were able to run up the score. We were able to have the possessions that we wanted to have. Our defense was able to get off the field. We were converting on third down. All of the things that we complained about in the previous week, it seems like we made efforts to address them and took a step forward. So a lot of the questions were, oh, did Kyle just look good because it was inferior competition? I mean, Western Kentucky is not the 85 Bears, but I think it's a little bit of a step up from Youngstown State, and you continue to see Kyle take steps. Marv is getting his stats. Emeka is still getting in the end zone. Like, overall, you just saw all of the pieces that there were questions about. And then the defensive line. We'll get into that in a little bit, but that was another thing that you saw. It was like, okay, when they have pass rush opportunities, are they going to get them? Everyone's made so much about the lack of sacks on this team. And while they didn't get a ton yesterday, they only had 2 sacks. They were able to pressure the quarterback and force these turnovers and wreak havoc back there. So overall, I thought it was a great effort from the team, and we saw a lot of improvement. I want to get to this first super chat of the day. A big shout out to our guy, Alpha Male.
Yeah,
Can we speak on JJ's the Gen God 143 yards and 3 interceptions? So funny story about that. I was watching that lovely game on playback with all the Michigan fans on Ant Wright's playback last night. And man, was that a time, because even by the time the game was secure and they had their third string quarterback in, they were not happy. And man, was that a great way to end my night, listening to Michigan fans complain and watch JJ look mid. I saw someone call him JJ McGenerational on the timeline yesterday when they're like, it's crazy that he had 2 interceptions, and little did they know he still had 1 more in him. So what were your guys' thoughts on JJ looking like a 2-pack of ass yesterday?
Man, I mean, this is what happens, right? You know, oh, Indiana, all that noise, and you know, it happens. It happens. These are games that happens. But I also said that the more that JJ throws, the more you'll probably see interceptions coming from him. And the fact that, you know, it was an Ohio team, you know, out of Bowling Green, you know, I mean, might have some correlation.
Well, eventually, reality always sets in. If you test it enough, it'll finally happen. So JJ came back down to earth. He hit some DBs in stride. So looking forward to keeping that momentum going forward. And let's stop the Heisman talk. Let's get real here, and let's get to reality going forward. You know, Kyle McCord probably going to be the first overall pick. JJ might go, you know, 4th, 5th round, something like that. So
that was generational performance. What are you talking about?
I don't know about first overall pick, bro. Tommy Eichenberg's in this draft.
Oh yeah, I forgot 2nd overall.
So I have to put roadblocks in like every couple segments in the show, because I get nervous that we're pumping too much sunshine. So I do have to get, is there anything that you guys did not like in the game yesterday before we continue our sunshine tour?
It's actually a good question. Not particularly. I felt like more so most of the questions I had from the first 2 weeks got answered. besides the ball hitting the turf and people jumping over it and around it but not picking it up, I can't have too many complaints. I'm not about to nitpick here after a 63-10 win. We finally put up
Well, if you won't do it, I will. Here,
I was
I'm here
about
to
to
tell you,
say.
I've got
I'm
beef
not
with the
gonna
OSU
I ain't
media
gonna do
team,
it.
bro. I'm out here editing videos of Kyle walking into the stadium pregame, trying to make this man look cool. And literally 2 minutes after I dropped this, like, slow motion action movie style video of Kyle walking into the fucking stadium to some G Herbo, they dropped this video of Kyle doing the nay-nay. And I'm like, I'm out here trying to make our quarterback look cool, and you guys are like, hey, want to see him nay-nay? Like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? Like, we are always talking about Ohio State is no swag you, and they're not doing us any favors. Like, bro, we got plenty of people on our team that I know can dance. Stop showing Kyle dancing pregame, bro. You opened our QB1 up to
Stop
getting
hating on
roasted.
Philly Kyle,
Bro,
man.
they
He got swag,
look,
bro.
listen. 2 minutes late, like 10 minutes after that, bro, they have Kyle running out of the tunnel in slow motion to Meek Mill. I'm like, that's what we want. No one needs to see him do a dance from 2016, bro. Like, you don't need to dance pregame. We don't need the 40 quote tweets of our QB1 getting roasted because he can't dance. There are 1,000 other ways that we can prop up QB1, make him look cool. He's from Philly. Like, you have the whole Meek Mill catalog to fucking use to make this man look cool. Stop posting this man doing the nay-nay during the pregame. Like, no one has to see us clapping around, shaking our ass pregame. Like, that, keep that, like, for the locker room or something. Like, we don't have to put that on social. Like, it's the 30,000 impressions, not worth it.
But Ron, it's about stacking good days.
Well,
See,
here's the thing.
Bro, we need to stack some good moves, bro.
Look,
like, I thought this whole generation of TikTokers knew how to dance. Like, what the hell was that?
Hey,
right now about
Q don't want to talk about, stuff. But if we are going to be critical of a team that we want to win the national championship, then I'm going to speak on it or whatever. I am a little bit concerned that we might have a tail on offense, right? Because, and I do not blame K Stover. Me and Ryan talked about this. I don't blame K Stover. I blame the coaches, right? You need a block from your tight end, and all we keep seeing on film, week in, week out, is that my guy K Stover just can't do it. What does Washington say in Remember the Titans? You missed the block by a mile. Like, I mean, we like he literally almost had a punt get blocked. He literally almost had a punt get blocked. Like, we need to see something better, man. So, yeah, that's one of my takeaways, because the thing is you put G in, are you now saying, oh, G's in here to block now, when actually he has a really good skill set? And then we're also, when G gets in, we don't scheme him open like we scheme Cade open. I just think it's crazy.
Oh, wait, I got one. My guy Daryl brought it up. Bro, what is going on with Jade Ballard on this team? Can we get this man the ball? Yeah. He returns one punt, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I'm almost ready to call racism by this time. Look, let this man return kicks.
Wait, what? I'm not following. Break that one down.
He light skin. He light skin.
There is something going on with Jaden Ballard. So they're trying to ice this man out. Put the ball in this man's hands and let him go. One putt, and I'm like, what are we doing?
We got to get to
our super chat. We got to get to our super chat from our guy Cam. Couldn't make it today, but he is here with us in the chat. Jermaine Crib Talk. He housed that shit. That was crazy. When I looked up and seen Jermaine get that ball and he was gone, it's just like I watched so much cornerback film from that 2023 class, because like that was the start of, you know what I mean, us with Best Damn Media. I started doing highlight tapes and edits, and I watched so much cornerback film in that class. And I would edit these Whitten Woods highlights and be like, these are the best corners in the country, bro. Like, no one is putting out film like Jermaine Matthews and Cam Calhoun, the corner that ended up at Michigan. These kids were at Whitten Woods in Cincinnati last year, and if you watch their corner tape together, I put out a highlight tape of them on Twitter last year, bro. You would think these kids were playing wide receivers because they have 6 minutes of highlights together of them just cribbing shit. Just like every interception, just back to the house. And it's like, are they wide receivers or are they cornerbacks? And I'm like, I've watched Cormani McClain. I've watched all of these cornerbacks across the country, and no one's tape looks like theirs. And what do you know? He gets out there on Saturday and gets a pick six in what? Cam said he played 5 snaps and had his hands on 2 balls. Like, that's...
Hey, Ryan, BIA. Hey, we were worried about BIA, but it looked like BIA is back, man. Like, we got depth. We look like we're going to be good because, remember, depth was a concern last year as well. But this is what we need. We need them to continue to get reps, continue to get them game reps, putting things on film, showing things that they can work on. And I'm telling you, by the end of the season, you're going to see these guys continue to make plays.
Yeah, well, first of all, a hefty pause moment by Ron.
I was like, are they about to let that fucking slide? Like, I couldn't even get
man.
the line out because I can't believe y'all said that.
Most definitely not. That's a crazy pause moment.
I was cooking too. I was like, okay, see, they even the video paused me there. Like, I was blurring my camera just got there. Like, this man's out of pocket. We just got to blur his face. But no, yeah, that was fucking crazy. I thought I was cooking, and then I got to that line, and I was like, holy fuck, what did I just say?
Lord. Second of all, oh my God, Jermaine Matthews, shades of Tyleek Williams over there, bringing that pick. What? That big six. Oh man, so nah, man, out there, look, bro, that man is so fast. He made the wide receiver look
Tyleek or Jermaine.
He's just like, I got.
Who are you talking about,
bro? Man, I cannot with y'all today, bro.
I told you he's coming in here on bullshit, today. Bro.
Our AIQ bot is messing up today.
That's Nevada Q down there.
But nah, Jermaine Matthews looking crazy. I love to see it from the young corners.
So we played a game yesterday on Mark Rogers' Voice of College Football Ohio State channel yesterday for our instant reaction called the Apology Tour. Because on our channel, everyone knows we are critical as hell of this team, and we're not afraid to call them out when they played bad. So there was very little to criticize as I asked you guys what your least favorite part of the game was, and I come out here and say the OSU media team. So it's very hard to be critical of the actual players, which means they all played well. So who do you need to apologize to today? I asked both of you, who needs an apology from you because of how critical you've been to them through the first 2 weeks of the year?
Well, I'll go first because I definitely did mine yesterday. Got to apologize to Josh Proctor. I was highly critical of him for multiple years, man. And this guy, Q, he stood in the paint. He said, this is Proctor's year. And, I just didn't believe that he was going to get it together. Was taking bad angles, but dude was a force to be reckoned with. And also, if you need a safety, I guess, to cover a 9, he might be that guy. So he was looking really nice, man. My apologies, Josh Proctor, and shout out to Miss Proctor as well, man.
Yeah, man. Well, first, I gotta apologize to Cade Stover a bit. I've been hefty critical on Cade Stover. He looked decent yesterday. He looked slight, he looked like he got something. So he's been playing some decent ball this season. So I do gotta apologize to him and the linebackers. I was hefty critical on them. Tommy and Steele were flying around. It was Western Kentucky, so I'm not gonna give them all the flowers yet, but they look good. So I gotta apologize to them as well.
I got to check the notes because I forget who I said I was going to apologize. Okay, I do remember who I am going to apologize to, and how could I forget? So in the chat, they're like, apologize to Ryan Day. I'm like, no, I just stopped calling him Ryan Day way to go. Okay? Like, I'm not apologizing the shit because regardless of if he was right or not, he still handled it like a complete asshole.
Yeah.
And he lied to us through the whole process. So regardless, Ryan Day, you're no longer Ryan Day, man. You got the team looking good. Hats off to you. No apology. My apology goes to a guy much more deserving of that. Steel Chambers. I was critical of him, leader of the CJ Hicks Army, the play CJ Hicks, the youth movement, and CJ Hicks and Steel Chambers went out there and balled yesterday. He had the interception. He was all over the field. He was in the backfield. Steel Chambers shut me the hell up, played well yesterday, and he gets my apology this week. If Ryan Day beats Michigan, he will get my apology. Until then, he is back to Ryan Day, no longer Lion Day. I trust him in his decision in the quarterback competition. His handling of it, meh. Left much to be desired, but overall, I think the apologies are fitting. I guess if you want to apologize to Cade, I still need to see more in the blocking game. But
exactly. Talking about decent. He was decent.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Decent.
We're getting there.
Hold on. Why are you talking about I need to apologize to Travion Henderson?
The 3K
Oh
Trey.
my God.
You and Cam need
the
to
disrespect,
apologize.
bro.
Hold on. Why
do
do I
you
need
see
to
this
apologize?
disrespect in the super chat?
Hold on. This is what hold on. Did we not say that when he gets in the open field, when he gets into space, that's when he's the best? And he did that?
No, Mike. That's not what you said. You said Dallin Hayden
my God,
and Chip Trainum were
No. Mike said that mine is RB1.
Here's a direct quote. He said Dallin Hayden and Chip Trainum were the second coming of Walter Payton and Gale Sayers.
Oh, I do remember that episode. I remember that one. I remember that. I'll clip that after the show and put that out. I remember that one.
Let me let y'all know in a little secret, right? I was calling Chip and Dallin running back 4 and 5. I didn't start out that way. I thought they were good backs. But Cam and Mike beat me in such a submission, talking about they were Lindell White and Reggie Bush. I couldn't take it no more. I literally did not hate these dudes coming into the season. And then by the time the season hit, I was like, man, I can't wait for Trey to run for 3,000 and them not to touch the ball. Just so I don't got to hear from these dudes the rest of the year. So that's what happened. That's why I was so biased.
We got a super chat.
Man.
We got a super chat from our guy Deke, and he's talking crazy. He must not have seen the box score. I don't know if you guys know off the top of your head, but who led us in solo tackles yesterday? Heisman candidate, plays linebacker for the Ohio State. Tommy fucking Eichenberg. How does Tommy suck, bro? He's played better and better the past 2 weeks. He did not play great against Indiana. I'll give you that. But he's playing back. He's rounding back into Heisman form, and I'm glad that I have not canceled my tickets to New York. I talked about it on the show after week 1. I was like, man, Tommy doesn't look like he's been playing basketball in the offseason. Like, bro, he was hanging out with, G. Scott and Proctor last year. I don't know who he's been hanging out with this year, bro, but he looks a step slower. But he's back in the Heisman form. He looks like he was flying around out there. Like they said, someone in the chat said that Deke was tripping. Ike doesn't suck. Tommy played well. What more did you want? And that's the thing. I'm always down to be critical about this team because I want them to be the best that they can. But when they play well, I can't come in here and just hate to hate. I am a fan of this team. That, and that's what people get confused. They think that we come on here and we're just some fucking haters, bro. I don't give a fuck who they put on the field. If they're the best, I want them to be the best. You think I'm out there rooting against Steel Chambers so I could be right and be like, I told you he was weak. No, if Steel Chambers wants to go out there and look like Luke Kuechly, I'm with it. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to win an Addy. I want us to win an Addy. So, if Steel Chambers can go out there and be great, I'm going to come in here and sing his praises when he does so. And I don't think Tommy's playing bad or deserves criticism with the way he's playing right now.
Hey, man.
I'm a hater.
Cade Bowers.
I heard
Shane, I'm ready to put you in timeout for that.
A former Buckeye football player said that it's okay. I done heard multiple of them say it's okay to be critical of this team. If we weren't critical, it means we don't care or whatever. It is okay. You want championship caliber football? That's what we are putting in, holding the standard. The standard is the standard.
Well, Cade Bowers is absolutely insane.
Oh no,
I'm still not over that.
no.
That's actually insane.
The Farmer Gronk was already insane.
Man, but nah, bro. I don't be trying to hate. I love when guys ball out. I love when guys prove me wrong. I mean, I had some crazy takes before the season, but again, Josh Proctor is putting on his best Malik Hooker, performance right there. He's balling out. All the guys I said they were gonna ball out are balling out. So I just really ain't wrong. I don't even apologize to nobody. I ain't hating. None of that. I'm just always right. Right, Ron?
Okay. I guess Q's never wrong. So anyone, if you're unfamiliar with Q's work, make sure that you tune in this Friday as we review our bold prediction segment from Friday before the game, because I mopped the fucking floor with Q. So Q, Mr. Never Wrong, if he's never been wrong in his life, wait until Friday, because he is absolutely about to be wrong when we go review this show, because this man, I don't think, got a single fucking bold prediction right while I was running up the score.
No, that's not.
Ooh, stomping on his ass.
Not too much.
Now, you want to know what the crazy thing was? The freaking takes from week 1 and 2, where I went absolutely insane, were all right Saturday. And I was like, all right, let me back off and get a little more basic. And then everybody comes to ball out. So I think they were just doing it to screw me over. I think that's exactly what happened.
They watched the show before the game.
Yeah, they watched the show.
They was point shaving for the bold prediction segment.
Excuses are like a-holes. We all got them.
There's actually not a betting scandal. They're actually shaving points for this podcast called the Buckeye Roast. They do a bold prediction game on Fridays.
I heard they were watching the show, so anything's possible.
So man, we get out of this week with a 63-10 victory. We sat here and sang the praises of the whole depth chart, up and down. I feel like everyone played well. Even as the reserves started to come in, we didn't let up any points. As we started to put rotational players in, the defense continued to score. We saw Amari Abor getting back there, Mitchell Melton making noise at the end of the game. Just an overall great performance by the Buckeyes. So I just want to get your thoughts coming out of that game. Where are you at confidence level going into Notre Dame this week?
Go ahead,
man. I'm confident that my secondary can stick with guys, not really get burnt. I believe that the communication is going to be a whole lot better, and I also believe that Jim Knowles is going to dial some things up, man. We were asked about him being worth $2 million on our post game, and I mean, if he's able to adjust and make these adjustments, and this be a top defense, which I think it can be, he's worth the $2 million. I mean, we know what the offense, and we said, here's the thing: we all, as fans, said we ain't worried about the offense, but all we did after week 1, week 2. Because we told these Team Up North fans, we told Penn State fans, SEC fans, we told them we know about what Ryan Day. When the last time Ryan Day didn't do this? When the last time Ryan Day didn't do that, right? The defense is what got me confident. I'm seeing better in the secondary.
So we got a super chat from our guy Rick before we get to Q's response here. I knew that was going to happen. Rick M says, first big road test next week. It's going to be loud. Kyle needs to stay zoned in. Go Bucks. I agree with him, but I don't think Kyle is the person that I'm particularly concerned about as far as this road environment and the noise. I am concerned about Josh Simmons.
I knew you were going there.
I mean, I say all the time, like, there's nothing that pisses me off more about these Buckeye teams is fucking false start penalties. Like, we used to see it with DeJuan Jones all the time, and it would make me want to throw my fucking remote through the TV. And it's like, I get it, you're far out on the edge. It's hardest for you to hear. The furthest from the quarterback, except for the wide receivers that somehow seem to not jump off sides. But that's a topic for another day. But like, I have concerns about him, his discipline, his ability to not have penalties, and that's the person that I'm most concerned about. Is this crowd is going to rattle him? Is he going to be able to hear out on the edge? So that's who I'm more concerned about. I think Kyle, he really was thrown into the fire for that Indiana game. He started as a true freshman in the shoe against Akron. I think he's played in front of big crowds. I don't think the moment will be too big for Kyle, but I do worry about the tackles and false start penalties.
What's the capacity, or how much does their stadium hold?
No idea.
That's a good question. I have no idea, but also too, y'all give DeJuan Jones the shade and keep
80,000.
So y'all give DeJuan Jones the shade and keep forgetting about the GOAT, Isaiah Prince, the king of false starts. Legend has it. He just had another false start yesterday. So hopefully he was good Lord, man. But yeah, hopefully his offensive line comes in. They're young. So I feel like I'm with you, Ron. This will be a true test for them. I feel like Kyle will be all right. He's composed. He's cool. It will be a big time test, but this offensive line plays great, then Kyle will play great. So I'm not too worried about him.
Travis says the wide receivers go when they see the ball snap. And our guy Music for Me 007 says that they will be using a silent count. See, shout out to our chat for being informed.
Yo, shout out to Rick for the super chat.
Yes, and a big thank you to Rick for the super chat. So Q, back to your the original question. What is your confidence level coming out of last week going into Notre Dame after seeing the performance the Buckeyes just put on?
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, confidence levels at 101 because we have 101 people in here. Make sure y'all like the video. Tap in. Appreciate y'all coming through. It's lying season. So my confidence is pretty high, man. I was never truly worried about Notre Dame. I haven't been. I'm still not. The way this defense is looking, I don't think Notre Dame has the weapons to really threaten us. Now, this will be our first real true test with somewhat of equal talent. We're on the road. So guys just need to show up and play ball and be confident. I think we'll be fine from there. I think the defense will be fine. Jim Knowles, is earning his weight in gold so far. Ryan Day started off a little slow with the offense, but we picked it up this week. So as long as the offense can continue to put up points, I think that'll be the kind of marker. Usually when we get in these big games, it's like, if we score, we'll be fine. So I feel like the onus is on the offense this week. Continue what you did last week. Wide receivers need to get open. Go make plays. Let's put the ball in the end zone, and things will be fine. I really have no worries of this defense going into this week.
So I see in the show notes we have history of the Notre Dame OSU matchup. Mike, you know off the top of your head the last time Notre Dame beat Ohio State?
Not in my lifetime. That's all that matters, right? What else matters?
Do you remember a time?
I'm gonna go with the 50s.
I think it might even be. I think the last time they won was 36.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Hey.
So modern era, right? Modern era, right?
For a team that has
sure crazy.
This team sure has a lot to say. Their fan base has a lot to say about what they're going to do to us. And every time we play, they seem confident in them, this being the year.
Right. All I'm going to ask you is can you please get the milk carton graphic ready?
For Robbie or for our friend Michael that likes to show up for our show in the morning?
All of them. Because we couldn't find them. We almost had to put out what they call it, an APB out on them, man.
Yeah.
We could not find them.
You're going to get your phone's just going to start buzzing. Everyone's going to be looking down at the party because everyone's phone's going off. It's going to be an Amber Alert for Robbie.
Robbie has called me twice a day, every day. I cannot wait for Saturday.
Oh, bro. And now you got to blow up his phone every day, knowing he's not going to answer. Just knowing he's not going to answer them.
So everybody's confidence level is high after the performance that they just put on. So what would be your concerns going into this game? We've seen people in the chat mention the environment and how loud that it could be. What are some other things that you guys are worried about or interested to see how they play out?
I would say offensive line in the run game. I really would love to see us establish the run here. I feel like we've had a lot of pops the last couple of weeks, but also it's we're out talenting guys by a mile. So I would love to see them establish the run and really get this running game going. I mean, we've done it well. I mean, we haven't had it. Have we had a guy go over 100 yards yet? Probably not, because we're splitting carries pretty a lot. But I would love to see us go in and really establish the run and kind of take the onus away from Kyle to go in and really throw darts early in the game. Let him get comfortable. Let him get solid, and let's ride this run game like we thought we would coming into the season.
Absolutely. I'm interested to see if this offensive line has settled their issues in the run game, and are they going to be able to run against a tougher test. And I'm interested to see the rotation of backs, because one of the things that I've said in the first two games is it seems like the back rotation, and I think we deviated from that a little bit this past week, but it seemed like the back rotations through week 1 and 2 were more on seniority and comfortability with the backs playing, and now it seems more situational, and they're trying to use these guys in the best situations that they can possible. So I like the rotation and where it's at now. So I'm interested to see how that plays out during the week. And also, like Gojay saying in the chat, the rotations will shrink. I'm interested to see who through 3 weeks has really earned the coach's trust and has established themselves as someone that deserves to get in the game. How much Carnell Tate do we see in a game against Notre Dame? Do we see Julian Fleming get more involved in the pass game? Just overall, what does this offense look like against a bigger test?
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing our wide receivers getting separation. I'm interested in actually seeing this offense be opened up. I've seen us run the same play against Western Kentucky like a handful of times. Like, I'm actually ready to see different things and see if this team can go up in South Bend and run away with this. If Kyle and these wide receivers are hitting on all cylinders, man, this could get scary. Along with that running game and that play action, man, this could get scary.
Also, too, I'm still waiting on these sack numbers from the D line. We had a couple sacks last week, but it was later in the game, so I'm still waiting on that. So another chance again against
Does Notre Dame do a lot of RPO though?
I don't think so.
I haven't watched much Notre Dame.
Yeah,
so what do you guys think? Kentucky does a lot. Yeah, Western Kentucky does a lot. That was the difference.
Yeah. So going into this week, what do you think is the biggest matchup to determine whether or not the Buckeyes come out of South Bend with a win on Saturday?
The trenches, hands down. The trenches literally was the determining factor last year. We saw Mike Hall in the dominant performance he had last year. It's going to come to that. You guys were talking about the running game. It's going to come down to those trenches is what I believe.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. Tyleek Williams and the Temptations going into the going into the game, just dominating, putting on dominant performance. But I led with, I really want to see this offensive line versus their defensive line and see if we can dominate them and take a stronghold on the game. And I think if they can do that, there shouldn't be any worries at all. Skill positions, I would give us the edge pretty much everywhere else.
Yeah,
Big Chris Drew in the chat said Dave versus himself is the biggest matchup on Saturday, and I think that's a good point. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the type of game that Ryan Day calls. We've seen him in some big games show up. We've seen him in others run 3 straight runs coming out of the third quarter losing to Michigan. So, which Ryan Day do we get on Saturday? I don't know, but I think the biggest matchup will be this defense versus Sam Hartman. I'm interested to see, is he able to put up the numbers that we've seen so far? They have some young wide receivers. Are they able to get loose against Denzel and Iggy? I don't know. I think they're going to be more physical. So it'll just be interesting to see how our corners match up against these wide receivers, because I think Sam Hartman is one of the better quarterbacks that we will see this year. So, yeah, I think that's going to be the matchup to watch. Well, the last note in the show, I didn't write this show because I read this and was like, what are niggas talking about? It says, and I'm going to read it to you, chat. I'm going to let you guys in on this, and you can guess in the chat who wrote this question. What if Ohio State loses this game? Huh? Is that something y'all are even interested in hearing or talking about? Is that a thought that you've let enter your mind? Clearly, Mike has because he wrote it in the show notes. Are y'all thinking about the possibility of losing this game? I'm not. I haven't even considered that. So clearly, you guys have. So, what are your thoughts there?
If Ohio State loses this game, I'm gonna have to change my number. I'm gonna let y'all know that. Like immediately, I'm on the way to Verizon. Like, yeah, let's switch some of these digits around because this man Robbie will not let me live it down. With this season, it's a big time road game. It's our first one. Would it be the end of the world? Absolutely not. I mean, still much to play
Absolutely.
for. Much to play for in the season. Would it ruin Ron's week early in the morning at 8 a.m.? Yes, it absolutely would. A lot of trash talk on the Twitter spaces. So it would be a fun couple weeks, but it wouldn't be the end of the world as far as the season goes. So, and I'll have to change my number. So that's my thoughts of if Ohio State loses this game. Ryan Day's getting cussed out after the game. That's all I know. Tune in to Buckeye BS on Sunday.
That's the thing. I mean, if Ohio State loses this game, you rather lose early in the season than late in the year. You know, them losing this game could be a turnaround point. It could be a motivating factor. You don't want them to lose. You would like them to go 15-0. But if someone said, hey, you lose to Notre Dame, but you win the whole Big Ten slate, right? And then you go win the Big Ten championship.
Then I would say we should have fucking beat Notre Dame if you beat Michigan
exactly.
and State. Like, what are we talking about, bro?
That base will still be going crazy, but you'll be happy because you got a chance to go to the CFP and compete for a natty. So, I mean, all I'm going to say is it will be about the way we lost, but you know, I just want people to, you know, think about that, man. Don't freak out. Don't freak out.
I'm here to tell you I will absolutely freak out.
I know you are, bro. I'm
not ready to let that thought enter my brain. So when it happens, man, you guys will be getting raw emotion, and I'm sure it'll be extremely irrational. And Mike's gonna have to talk me off the ledge.
Yeah, I'm trying to pump the brakes right now.
It's not officially over, but
don't worry.
Go ahead.
I was like, don't worry, Cam Martinez and the boys won't let that happen. We'll
see, you said, are you playing with the wrong name? Like that to me tells me 21 points alone. Like, no.
Cam Martinez and the boys wouldn't let Notre Dame throw all over them. What are we talking about here? It's islands out there. Boy. Don't need to worry.
Yeah.
There's 100 people in here right now. I want to get at least 63 likes before we head out of here. So smash that like button. If you have any questions for us, make sure you drop them in the chat. We appreciate all of you guys for tuning in and give it a minute here to see if we have any questions. But yeah, if you have not liked that video, there's over 100 people in here. We're all Buckeye fans. Smash that like button if we're going to win on Saturday against Notre Dame. Go ahead and run that up. If you're a Notre Dame fan in here, I doubt there's more than 3 of you, so go ahead and not like the video if you don't want to. But the rest of you Buckeye fans, run that shit up because we're about to win on Saturday. Our guy Dan said Jim Knowles going crazy, cover 0 with Cam Martinez guarding wideout 1. Ohio State fans' biggest fear. I mean, I saw Mike's eyes get wide when I started reading that question or reading that comment because that is indeed every Buckeye's fear. We talked about it all offseason about him not getting on the field. Did you guys see much of him on Saturday? I don't recall seeing him on the field at all.
Well, this is another chance to tell people tune in to Buckeye Roast where your guy Q tells it to you straight. Jordan Hancock at the slot corner position came in there. He got beat once or twice. Definitely learning the position, but that is the move going forward. I said it at the beginning of the season. I'm saying it now. Get your 3 corners out there. You can start to flip them with Sonny Styles and the other guys, and obviously depending on matchups, but that is the way you want to go. He's the fast guy. He should be covering the slot. I mean, you know, Jim Knowles should just call me at the beginning of the year, and I just let him know, yo, Jim, move this guy here, and, you know, let's roll from there.
Yeah,
man, we're good.
Oh, I didn't. I don't remember seeing anybody at all. I don't remember seeing him back there. I like what we're doing in the backfield. And Jordan Hancock, AQ, man, don't be taking all credit, man, because you also have some people on Buckeye BS saying that about Jordan Hancock being
all
there.
right.
Yeah.
The bandwagon continues to grow. Pro player. Dinner on Ron.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, what?
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. I was talking about Q in the
No, I didn't say anything. You said, "Hey, man," and then I didn't hear anything, and I'm like, did I lag out?
And I'm like, hey, man, my
bad. I thought he had some like profound.
No, I wasn't about to.
He was like, "Hey, man," I was like, "Oh, what? What's he about to drop here?
Something. He
got something, bro." So yeah, man, we saw a great win out of the Buckeyes. No questions in the chat, man. We're gonna head on out of here, and I'm about to go get my ass some breakfast. It's not an episode of Buckeye BS if someone doesn't call me fatty in the chat. So I'm gonna go fucking stuff my face because it's Saturday or it's Sunday, and I'm gonna enjoy my fucking breakfast because I am a fatty. Bitch. So, guys, let the people know. Let the people know where they can find you, since someone thinks they hurt my feelings by informing me that I'm fat as I'm about to go order breakfast right now, unfazed.
Ron, go get that French toast.
Fatty in the chatty, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. A whole lot of plugs, man. But first, if you want to find me on the timeline, see Boy Quentin on Twitter. Flying Johnson on Instagram and Minor League Films. If you mess with movies, I'm out there. But yeah, man, we got a big slate of shows. I'll let Mike introduce a couple. Buckeye roasts every morning, 8 a.m. during the week. You can catch me there. Might have some guests in this week, so make sure you tune in for that. But yeah, man, catch us every morning. Mike.
Yeah, and you can catch me on Twitter or Instagram at 216_wildboy. Also, catch me every Sunday right here on Buckeye BS, 10 a.m. every Sunday morning. And then also on this channel, every Wednesday, our National College Football Show at 7:30 Eastern Time. Every Wednesday, make sure you lock in. Make sure you're following. Hit that like and subscribe button so you know when we go live.
Absolutely. We got a ton of stuff going on the channel. Make sure that you tune in every week for the Buckeye, every day, Monday through Friday, for the Buckeye Roast at 8 a.m. with me and Q. Ton of stuff going on this week on the show. We have Dog's Film Room on Tuesdays, so make sure you check that out. Our guy Dog from KC&D TV does film breakdowns of the game, so he'll have the breakdown of the Western Kentucky game. I guarantee that you will learn something watching that video, so make sure you tap in when you see that. Like Mike said, we got Fans Edge, our national show, on Wednesdays at 7:30. We have the college football pregame show. We've been having guests from all kinds of different fan bases on. We had TK and Darnell on this past week. TK of Penn State, Darnell of Michigan. So make sure you tap in and you're starting your Saturday mornings with us on the college football pregame show. And of course, the flagship right here, Buckeye BS, every Sunday at 10 a.m. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at 2_TES. That's 2 T's. You can find me on Twitch at the same thing, on TikTok at 2Shiesty. And if you don't have it downloaded already, make sure you download the Bleacher Report app. Me and Q will be doing 2 shows in the app this week. We have one on Monday and Thursday. Q will be with me on Monday. Big Chris Drew on Wednesday or Thursday, Q?
I think it's Thursday. But we'll double check. We'll let y'all know tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll let you know. But me and Big Chris Drew will be on Bleacher Report this week. Me and Q tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So make sure that you tune in for that. And we appreciate you guys tuning in for the Buckeye BS every Sunday here at 10 a.m. on Best Damn Media. You guys have a good day. Go Bucks.
OH.
I-O.